collaborating it helps you hone your skill. It helps you build up your portfolio. It helps you network.
My rule of thumb I've always done with creative projects, if someone approaches me with a project, go like, hey, I'm working on this project, I want to bring you on board, I'm going to lean on the fact I'm going to let you run it because you brought me on board.
So it doesn't matter what it is. Like if you're in the creative industry, like at some point you are going to collaborate with people and you're going to be collaborating with them probably your entire career, different people at different times for different projects.
You're a peg on that whole project. If you're not holding the table together, it all falls apart. Mm-hmm. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of 23 Journeys, a network for creatives. I am your host, Thato Datsun, with my lovely wife, Naomi.
Hey, guys.
And today we're going to be talking about collaboration, figuring out who you want to work with and, how can these collaborative efforts help you grow and such. And then, a little bit of relationship navigation, too. We off camera, we had a great conversation talking about some stories of our past with different people that we've worked with in the industry. They may have left, but we still have those relationships, and they've also blossomed into other great stuff. So we got a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack, and let's get right to it. So, don't forget that if you like what we're doing, check us out. Visit our website, www.23journeyscreatives.com. To learn more about us and
follow us on social media.
Yep. All right. So when collaborating with other creatives, these are great networking opportunities for growth. So what's a collaboration? A collaboration could be an art project. In the film industry, you have all different types of people, camera people, directors, writers, actors, and you want to collaborate on a short film so you guys can enter it into a film contest, okay? That's collaboration. We had mentioned in the past episode about style shoots. And style shoots is a collaboration of a photo shoot that one helps the non-photographers get material for their marketing and advertising, and it helps the photographer build relationships with whether the models or the dress designer and everything, just so people can actually be able to say, hey, we use this person, and for referral, build relationships for referral. So collaborations, why would you want to collaborate? I said a few. Why else should we collaborate, Naomi?
Well, we also talked about on one of the other episodes and stuff like that about like networking events and stuff like that. Like we collaborated with some of them to provide the photo booths and everything and all at the events and stuff. And it gets you in front of people that you might not normally see or talk to and stuff like that in this environment and all, and be able to talk to them and everything and all. And it's collaborating because you never know where it's going to go. You never know like what kind of people you're going to meet and stuff. Like you'll know the core people that are going to be there, but then you never know who they might bring into the picture, into the fold and everything and whatnot and stuff. And collaborating it helps you hone your skill. It helps you build up your portfolio. It helps you network and stuff like that. And
hone your skills. You can, because when you collaborate, you can definitely work with, say, for instance, you have like we said, the short film project. A lot of times we are all people who wear multiple hats when we're filmmakers and such. Some people may be strong in more writing, but they also know how to use a camera. Some people may be more of a camera person, but then also knows how to edit and animate and such. So when you're working with other people who are in your field, it's a great way to develop more skills, learn some more tricks of the trades, because we all have our methods on how we do stuff. I'm a person who likes to edit on Adobe. I'm a big Adobe editor and such, but then there's other editing softwares. Growing up, it was like Final Cut with the Apple Final Cut and Avid and whatnot. And, I may not know all those different applications. We get the same job done. What's the other one? DaVinci, Blackmagic DaVinci. That was the other one that I forgot about. But there's so many ways to edit a video, but then you can learn other ways from other people. Like, hey, well, this one is timeline based. Oh, this one's node based. And now I'm getting technical and stuff.
That actually brought up a good point though too with collaboration, because there was a wedding that we did where you knew the photographers and everything and stuff like that. They had booked a wedding, and then their bride and stuff, they had wanted videographers, and they don't do videography and stuff, but they're like, I know Thato and stuff like that. So we came and we collaborated on their wedding and stuff like that, where we did the videography, we were there, and they did the photography. We were there for the wedding, we were shooting the wedding, but like when you take your break and stuff and you're eating like lunch and stuff like that in between or whatever, we got to talking because it was the first time I had ever met them and stuff like that. You knew them. I had never met them before. And we were talking, and because I do more of the behind the scenes. So like you're out there shooting the weddings and doing a lot of this stuff. And then you have on the back end, I'm here behind the desk going through tons of thousands of photos and stuff like that, going through and everything and stuff like that and all. So we were talking about that with the editing and the behind the scenes and stuff. And they're like, oh, well, if you've got all those photos and everything and stuff like that, like what program do you use and stuff? I was like, right now, I've just been going through like 4,000 photos after a wedding. And they're like, oh, no, you have to check out this program like Aftershoot or whatever and stuff like that and all. And just from her saying that, like, we were like, oh, what is this? We went and researched and stuff, and we're like, wow, there's like this actually helped and stuff like that. We don't use it for everything that it does and stuff, but like it helped us streamline taking like 4,000 photos down to a little bit and stuff. And just from collaborating with another photographer helped us find other programs that were out there that we didn't even know were out there and stuff. So just like what you were saying with the programs and all.
Yeah. And funny thing, you mentioned the Aftershoot too. It's they were using the Aftershoot way more and before us and stuff. But end of the year, the Aftershoot put out these numbers of like who's using Aftershoot the most. We happen to be the number one Aftershoot in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I was like, well, with the amount of photos you take and that I've been throwing through and stuff like that.
I was throwing everything. I was throwing weddings. I was doing events. I was like, here, just throw it. Here's another one. Aftershoot software is like, not another one, boss.
Yeah. But it's like, and everything. But we didn't even use it for the editing. We just used it for dwindling down which photos were like not blurry or whatnot and stuff like that and all and whatnot. But yeah, just like that little thing and everything and all. And even collaborating, people change industries all the time. So you might have your core group of people that you go to with like a director or an actor or something, but people's lives change. Like they may be in the industry for so long and then they switch and pivot somewhere else and stuff and all. And so it's good to always be connecting, always growing that network, because then you might need somebody else or whatnot. Like, for instance, you had mentioned on one of the other podcasts about how one of your friends is now like online and stuff like that. He's a gamer and everything, does fantastic and everything and all. You guys are still friends and everything. And now he's telling you like how like some tidbits on YouTube and stuff. So it's like you wouldn't advertise your services on a gamer like podcast or network or whatever, but he could still give you tidbits on how to navigate and everything. But you had met him from being in the industry, because you actually used to do his music videos because he was back in the music industry and stuff. So it's like
he used to rap and everything.
So he used to be a client, like he used to be like all this, and you guys just became friends. And then now he's helping you with this whole different aspect that you probably would have never even thought of in like years ago and all. And whatnot. So it's like those little things.
It's and that's relationship building. And we've said I'm gonna beat this horse over and over and over. But it's not about what you can get right now. It's all about building a relationship, building something that you know that could blossom into the future. We even talked about too, like you're at the job that you've worked at. The owner, he was an MC, he was a DJ and everything, and worked at for years. Fantastic way of doing all that. Now he owns a snow company, and through that, then he started hiring me to do some work and everything and such. We got connected, obviously through you because you were working for him and everything and such. But then it got a lot because he's, growing corporation. He needs a lot of work. And I also have my other clients, so trying to manage that time and stuff. Well, I at that time was like, okay, well, how can I help him get the photos and stuff done? But I got weddings and other stuff that I
you couldn't dedicate all your time to it.
I really couldn't. It's like it's either the way to fully help him was that I had to quit the business and.
But he was also looking for like a graphic designer, which is not in your wheelhouse. Like, you do the photos, the videos, I'll supply the content, but like I can't design all that stuff and everything. So it's like he was looking for a little bit more than what you could provide too. So
then we were actually at the time I was interviewing people to be an assistant, like here at the office, and help out with different things and such. And one of the guys we interviewed, he came in, and I was just like, man, I feel like we're like buddies. Like I just felt like real cool. Like he was a real cool dude and everything like that. And I was just like, I couldn't afford him,
in the office, but he's helped you at second shooting.
He's helped me at second shooting, but I couldn't afford him working here at the office. But then, the owner of the snow company was like, he's like, yeah, I really could use some help. I was like, we and you were trying to push, like, hey, you should talk to this photographer. He's fantastic. Well, what is his skills? I mean, he used to work for college, everything else like that. He has the skills. He knows how to do graphic design and everything and such. And then that opened up, bam. So through us, you're like the snow company guy was able to get an employee that actually does all his graphic designs, his multimedia and everything else like that. And that's through relationship building. Yeah. So finding the right creative partners. So we talked about niching before. And when you niche, this is how you help you find the right referral partners, or you can find the right clients and what you're focusing on. We had harped on real estate photography a lot. So, but finding the right creative partners. So let's say we're going to stick to filmmaking, like making a movie or a short film and such. Okay, you want to collaborate with all different types of people. Say for instance, you're a great writer. Okay. All right, who do you want to collaborate with? Who can help you bring your vision to life? You want to find some people that are really good at cinematography, that can understand the camera. You want to know people who understand lighting. So if you're the cinematographer, you either need to know it yourself, or you need to know people who understand lighting. So great gaffers and lighting specialists and such, and then sound people. You could. The only way you can get away with a bad sounding film is if you do a black and white, just like
one of those old school ones.
put the text on the screen and everything. But no, you need those are like the different elements that makes your product high quality. Good lighting, good sound, great cinematography, and then you got to have a compelling script that people are actually going to want to like follow the story and stuff. But I mean, who's driving that story? Who do you got to network with?
Who are you going to use to tell that story? So there's all the actors and everything and stuff like that need to come into it and stuff like that. I mean, even like, for instance, with another collaboration, like we used to do modeling and everything. So we had done a lot of modeling and known a lot of other models and stuff. And through some of them have gone into acting. Some of them do voice acting. Some of them do other stuff. So actually one of the projects you were doing for a video and stuff like that needed a voiceover. So then we're like, okay, we know some voice actors and stuff like that, but like who would fit this? So we reached out to a lot of our contacts and stuff like that, and they had submitted different voice like clips and stuff like that you presented to your client, and they're like, I like this person, I like that person and stuff like that. So it's like just knowing those other people and stuff like that and whatnot can help your project. And you might not even know like the project's 10 years down the line or something, but it's like, oh, well, I know these people from I had met them here and stuff and all, and everything. Because you go to who you know first and all before you go to strangers that may or may not pan out. Because you don't know, like when it's people that you've never met before and you're just going and searching Google or whatever, like sometimes you don't know how they're going to turn out. So it's like if you want to make an impact, sometimes you'll go to your people that you already know first.
Yeah, they call it the recency bias or whatnot. Like the more recent you are in somebody's head, the more they're able to draw that memory of like, oh yeah, I did that. Me and Joe, we did that short film and it was really funny and whatnot. I could use them for a project. Like maybe they left filmmaking and now they work for a car dealership. But the car dealership's like, okay, we need to sell these cars, but we need to visually tell a good story and stuff. And you can be like, oh well, Joe's great with cameras. Boom, bam, and then he just remembers. Get you on board, and then bam, you just got a paid gig with a car dealership. Mm-hmm. I see it all the time. I mean, every industry has their ways of collaboration. We just talked about film, music industry. They would go more like you have a producer. You have a music producer that would make the beats. Like my friend. PC Beats. Well, he has a different name. He goes T Anthony Music, which is when he's his artist, but as a music producer, he goes by PC Beats, and he makes the music behind the sound, and he's had a lot of great artists and stuff that he's worked with. I believe he did
he just won a Grammy.
He just won a Grammy. I don't want to say who. Yeah. Because I'll mess it all up. Who was the artist? So maybe.
So maybe he'll be on a future episode. He can tell us all about that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I want to get him. I want to get him on. He's been real busy. He's been all over. He's been in Atlanta. I mean, he's Delaware, Philly, and stuff. So hope we'll get him on a future episode.
And
he
even
can tell us
something
all
like that,
about
because
it.
a lot of people too might be like, well, what are you going to do with like beats and stuff like that and everything? But it's like you make so many videos and stuff like that you need music in the background. Like you're constantly using music and stuff in the background and all. So it's like to have somebody like that you can collaborate and make a project like that and everything and stuff. That's important too.
Yeah, super important. You know, like video people collaborate with audio people. Audio people collaborate with graphics people. I mean, graphics people collaborate. So we all interchange. That's why we are a network of creatives. You know, the creative community, we need to stick together. We need to be able to help each other out in all different types of ways. And then obviously there's other ways that creatives help each other. There's like the marketing creative where they know how to, okay, well, how can I get your message out for you? And whatnot, you know.
Or even event planners too, because you've got event planners, like we talked about event planners for weddings and stuff before, but there's other planners that like do like those award ceremonies that do big, all different kind of events and stuff like that and all that they need people and stuff like that to make it all run and all. So it's like knowing people like that, then it's like, okay, they'll need photographers, they'll need videographers, they'll need DJs, they'll need like venues and stuff like that and all and whatnot. So
yeah. So the whole concept for it is that when you're collaborating, know your niche, know where you want to be, so that way you're navigating and collaborating with the people that you want to collaborate with. You know, you don't want to be collaborating necessarily with, like, say, for instance, you're a musician. You don't necessarily want to be collaborating with a florist, which...
Unless you want that in your background on your music video or something.
I guess. I mean, maybe, you know, and whatnot. But, you know, a florist person would collaborate more with a photographer because a photographer could use their flowers or designs as props in a photo shoot. That's a collaboration that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to see what makes sense. I mean, if you're in a situation, say you're at a networking event and you're a DJ and you do meet a florist, that could go into something where we've talked about with, you know, into more weddings and such like that. It's just harder to really build a collaboration project where you both can.
Correct. So it's like you might not be able to collaborate right away and everything, but also don't disrespect those connections when you meet them too, because you never know and stuff like that. For instance, they might be a florist. You wouldn't collaborate on them with a DJ event, but they might have a sister that's getting married and now they need a DJ. And the only DJ they know is you that they met at a networking event for something else and stuff. So never downplay the potentials of the people you meet. Always be respectful with the people you meet and everything, but you might not collaborate directly with all of them because they're not in your industry or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So managing different creative personalities.
Yeah.
So this is so anytime you work on a creative project, you're going to have a lot of chiefs,
A lot of egos,
a lot of people wanting to say, well, I'm in charge, or I'm this and that. My rule of thumb I've always done with creative projects, if someone approaches me with a project, go like, hey, I'm working on this project, I want to bring you on board. I'm going to lean on the fact I'm going to let you run it because you brought me on board. You know, this is your project bringing me on board.
your idea.
Yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
Versus where if I'm like, okay, hey, Naomi, I'm working on this project. I want your help on this. It's more or less, hey, can you follow my lead? Unless we have a conversation where you're like, hey, can I partner with you? I have some great ideas to help expand this. Let's work together. Communication, you know, talk it out, you know, figure out what you want to work on. Because there are people that will come in and they will try to take over the entire project, you know, and that's what you want to watch out for is the unnecessary egos that try to bulldog or just rampage right over projects and just think that they can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. On the flip side, though, too, like even if you're the one that started it and stuff and all, and it's your idea and everything, you do want them to respect that it is your idea and all, and this is your vision for it and stuff. But you have to also remember that you are bringing these other creatives on for a purpose because they are dominant in their area. Like you might bring a sound tech on and stuff because they are dominant in the sound that you're going for in the background and everything and the levels and whatnot. Or you might bring on, like, whatever it is, you're bringing them on for a purpose. So respect also when they start speaking up about, like, hey, like, it might not work. Like if a lighting and stuff like that, like they might be like, this is a great spot to take all these photographs and everything and stuff like that and everything. And I want this look. And you're like, okay, great. Like, how can we do this look though with better lighting? Because otherwise you're going to look dark. You're going to look like whatever the case may be and stuff. So it's like, you're running it. You have to portray your ideas to the people that you're bringing on, that you're collaborating with, so they can understand your vision, understand where you're going, but then also respect the knowledge that they have, that they're trying to let you know to make your project better and stuff, but without being too overbearing, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, and that's great. The whole concept is like, yeah, you may be the leader of the project, you may be the one who came together to put it all together, but at the same time, you are specifically getting these people, like you said, for these specific roles. You know, I'm for one, I mean, I'm okay at audio. You know, I'm decent. You know, I can get by and and whatnot. But there's people who are phenomenal. Like we mentioned, we mentioned PC Beats. He's a Grammy winning producer. Like, you have to respect, like, hey, if I'm bringing him on board, I need to follow his expertise when it comes to the sound and other stuff like that. Now, if he starts trying to tell me like, well, this should be like this visually for the I'm like, okay, I could maybe hear a little bit, but I'm like, I got it. This is my vision and such. But when it comes to sound, I'm like, I'll trust you, man. You know how to make the sound great. We obviously know you have the credentials for it and stuff. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially even too, like, because you do photography and videography and stuff like that. But I remember back in the day, like, my dad was always telling you, like, okay, no, you need this kind of recording thing. You need this kind of stuff for the audio, because he doesn't do the video so much, but the audio side of it, he's like, this is going to be how you capture those interviews, how you capture those things. Like, so he was finding gadgets that were really, really good for the audio side to add to your cameras and everything and all, because cameras have audio and can capture it all in there. But it's like, to get that professional sounding audio and stuff like that, sometimes you need other gadgets and all. So people that are more in tune with that field can recommend those kind of gadgets and stuff like that to you as well.
Yeah.
And all to enhance your craft.
Yeah, for sure. So collaboration, we talked about, let's see, making a short film, in the music production, making a song. You have musicians, or you can work with bands. You need an audio engineer. Obviously, you need somebody who may be a songwriter, or maybe the band or the singer can write their own songs and such. Those are collaboration projects. But then what do you do with that? Okay, well, like we said with the style shoot some time ago, is like, those are projects that when you release it, you got to make sure everybody gets a credit. Everybody has to get a credit, and you should do it in a way that where everybody is promoting each other and such. One of the big things in the 2000s in the music industry, and a lot of people who were paying attention to the music industry back then, is in the southern music area, you had DJ Khaled, who was always on like all the tracks. DJ Khaled, we the best. And you heard his name all the time. Well, what he was doing, and this is what I loved about his strategy, was that he was doing the beats with all these different artists. Now, I don't know what he did in the back end with, like, whether he gave him a cheaper rate or whatever, but he was able to get a lot of different artists to collaborate on different tracks. So it's like, it may be a DJ Khaled song, but then he had like Lil Wayne and Ace Hood and like Rick Ross all on one song. Then he did another song with like Pitbull and like other big artists and stuff, but he just kept on doing these. And then what happened is that now these artists are connecting and building each other's networks and stuff. And now you're seeing, oh, Pitbull has this artist on his track. Oh, Rick Ross added this person on this. And it created this huge network of these platinum performing artists and such. And then that's when it was just like the South music, like the Lil Waynes and stuff, were just taking over. It was like you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing somebody from the South with a song. And it really made the West Coast and the East Coast music scenes like, okay, we got to figure something out, because the South is taking over. It was just like crunk music, everything and such. So, and that's the thing, is like you create the projects and you got to get each other out there. It doesn't work if just one person is the only person promoting y'all. You have to do it together, because your networks will expand to others. Like, say we make a song or whatnot, Thato on the track, and we get it out to the customers. We get out to the people, and like you promote it on your Facebook group. And this is just small. We're talking small. Your Facebook group. I promote to my Facebook group. Good. That's two different audiences. Now we have, PC Beats made the beat. Okay, he posted his people. Now we're getting exposed.
You have different people that follow different people for different reasons.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
And everything. And it keeps, and it goes from there, like just all that kind of stuff.
And it goes to show too that like, no matter, because they were all professionals already, a lot of them and stuff like that and all, like, doesn't matter if you're just starting out, like how we talked about collaborations with some people, like to get into the industry and all and stuff like that and all, or if you're already big time and you've got yourself established and everything, like there's always collaborations that are happening and stuff like that for those type of projects, for the smaller projects and everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. Like if you're in the creative industry, like at some point you are going to collaborate with people. And stuff and all and everything. And you're going to be collaborating with them probably your entire career, different people at different times for different projects and stuff, but you're always going to have some kind of collaboration. So it's good to start to get into that. And like you said before, like don't let your egos get in the way and everything and all and whatnot. And then also find about like what kind of collaborations are working for other people. Because sometimes like seeing what other people are doing that's working and stuff like that and all, like put your own style to it, but kind of take that roadmap that they're already kind of doing and that's making headway or something. And instead of trying to recreate the entire wheel, like, wow, that's actually kicking off. That's a great idea or whatever and stuff like that. Make it your own. Do it differently. Don't copy them and stuff. But then keep that in mind and then collaborate with other people and go that direction as well.
Yeah. There's really nothing new under the sun. You know, I mean, there's so many, almost every and any idea has been done or created. So it's all about putting your own spin. I love how you emphasize that. Put your own spin on it. You know, you can look at the DJ Khaled, the South rapping model as a great model to develop like whether a community, whether here in the Philadelphia music scene or something and such.
Kind of like how I was just talking about how I was listening to Jason Derulo's podcast, or not podcast, but like Spotify and everything the other day. And like songs that I hear all the time from his albums and stuff. But then it went on to like the remixes with certain DJs and stuff. I was like, wow, this is fire and stuff like that and all. And it's the same exact song. He just did it with a different DJ and like sound and stuff in the background. And I'm like, wow, I actually like this better than the original. But then there's other people that like the original better and stuff like that. And also it's like he collaborated with different people and now he's attracting different listeners and stuff like that and all.
So in collaboration, so we've really emphasized greatly on collaboration with other creatives. Now, when it comes to collaborating or working with non-creatives, that's another avenue. You know, usually in that aspect, because you're not really at the most of the time, you're not able to find something where you two can, I guess to say, work on. You do what's called bartering. You know, trade of services and such. You know, it could be that, like say for instance, you need somebody to review like something in your finances and stuff, and you know, you go to a financial expert. I mean, this is just me throwing it out. You know, maybe they may do, they may not. It could be accountant or person could look over some stuff. Next thing you know, you're doing their headshots or stuff like that. Is the age old thing. Before money and currency was around, we used to just barter our services. You know, I'd have a cow and, you know, I'd be like, all right, well, I have some chickens, or I'll give you some eggs, so, you know, you guys could do this kind of job for me and stuff. You know, it's like, oh, I'll trade you a goat for whatever and such.
Especially in the beginning when you're just starting to get off the ground and everything, because you might not have the financial backing going into your business as you're creating it and everything. So using the resources that you do have and all, whether they be services or whatever they are, like to help and stuff like that. But you also want to make sure you're helping the other person too and stuff, because they need to get something out of it as well and everything and all and whatnot, because you don't want to just be selfish. Plus, as you grow too, like you can barter, know when a good project is available to barter with and stuff like that and all versus actually paying somebody for their service. Because there's a lot of times too when you'll know somebody, you're like, you always want to work with them and stuff, but then some people don't want to pay them all the time. They just want the free services and to always barter. And it's like, you got to respect their time too and respect their craft. They're here to make a living as well. They can't always do free services for you. They can't always barter with you and stuff like that. So it's like, know when to try to barter, when's a good idea and stuff and all, but then also pay for their services if you can afford them and stuff like that. And you need more of their services and everything in the future as well.
Yeah. And it really does make a huge difference because you know, you'll have friends that will always reach out, especially us creatives. It's the biggest pain point for creatives is that the people will be like, hey, can you, hey man, we know we're friends from high school. Can you photograph this event for me? You know, we'll shout you out. it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's nice and all and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, why couldn't you just pay me? Like, even if it was just $50, even if it was $100, they're like, why couldn't you at least pay me a little bit for my time?
Or it could just cover my gas. It could be bartering to cover your gas and stuff for an event and all. But that kind of goes back to, too, about making sure it makes sense. Because it's like, if somebody reached out to you and be like, hey, can you cover our event and stuff like that? We'll put your name on our posters. We'll do this and stuff like that and all. Like, okay, they might not be paying you, but it might make sense because it might be your clientele demographic that's going to be at this event, or it might be your clientele that's going to see this project and all and whatnot, like, and everything. Or you might just want to collaborate with somebody like nonprofits and stuff sometimes to just get a positive message out that you believe in and you want to get this message out and everything and help this cause and donate your time to that too. That's another type of collaboration, to donate your time for causes that you believe in and everything and stuff too. So
Yeah. And endangered Alaskan moose, that's the cause I.
Alaskan moose. Moose are huge.
Yeah, right? He'll be like, sweet mother. Oh, and when you barter and such, it's kind of different ways you can do it. Word of mouth bartering, maybe email confirmation with people is one thing. When you start getting with like bigger companies and such, like you said, a nonprofit and whatnot, and they're going to like, hey, we'll promote you and do everything else like that. Get everything in writing. Just make sure, especially if you're dealing with another business.
Or even friends. Especially friends.
Yeah, especially friends. And family.
And family. Like, we love friends, we love family and stuff like that, but sometimes they're so used to maybe who you were before you were creative, or just the fact that you're their best friends, so they're expecting all this from you and everything and stuff like that. Like, put it in writing. What is it you're giving them? What are you getting back and stuff like that and all. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and, put it in writing. So, and it can be as simple as just saying that, like, hey, for exchange of my services, so-and-so will put me on the poster at the event, or so-and-so will make sure that we're getting a certain amount of social media posts and we'll get tagged in certain amount and stuff. Just put whatever makes sense for you. It doesn't have to be a certain monetary amount. It just has to be something that you feel will benefit you.
Yeah, even like asking them to use their logo like on your website, just saying that you've worked with this company and stuff like that and all, just to kind of build up your standing and all too. Like something simple as that.
Yeah, yep, that recognition on the website, signing off. No, when you do a lot of the different work too, especially if obviously you should do it for your paid work too. But if you ever do anything collaborative and stuff, get a contract with each other. Release forms. Make sure you're covering your butt too, like using other people's artwork or using somebody's image, face, or and such. Get your release forms. That way, everyone's bases are covered and such. Because we did talk about on the bright side of relationships. On the dark side of stuff too is that some people, like maybe you had filmed the project, could have been a comedy project or whatever and stuff. You said some crude jokes and such. And at the time, it was funny. It was hilarious. Well, jokes change from generation to generation. Now people are all like, oh, this is horrible and everything else like that. Well, that release form at least protects you and like, hey, well, this is my project. I mean, do what you feel is right. If you feel like you need to take that project down or something, but like you want to have those things protecting you because somebody's opinion may change or whatnot. Like maybe you made a joke about cats or something, and then now this person's the biggest cat lover in the world, and like, oh, it was horrible, I said those cat things and such. So then it's like this project could be helping you get business, but they're telling you to take it down. So you get that release, like, hey, well, we agreed upon that we could use this together and such.
Yeah, and that's why, like on future episodes or something, like potentially talking to like lawyers and all that kind of stuff is good, because we don't know all the ins and outs with these agreements and stuff like that. Like, we can say too what we think and things that we've picked up, but we don't know all the legalities of all this stuff and everything too. So getting somebody like that on here that we know would be able to provide like contract acknowledgments and all that kind of stuff and everything, and knowledge and everything and all, would be beneficial as well.
Yeah, because all the legal stuff, I'm just speaking out of left field, just like throwing stuff out. I have no legal background, for the record.
So don't take his advice as a end all be all.
Yes. It's just personal opinion, and a lot of that stuff is like it's like you have to cover your butt with contracts too, but also ethics. Like if you feel like, all right, maybe I should change something up or take something down or whatnot.
Sometimes a lot of that, like with the contracts and everything, to circle back around, it's good to get it because it's like how people can use it and stuff. And so they don't take your project and promote it as theirs and stuff and not give you credit and everything and stuff like that. Because the last thing you want is you to make like this awesome video and stuff, and now they put it and blast it out and it's now got millions of views and everything, and nobody knows who the heck you are, and you're the one that created it, and you were supposed to get credit for it and stuff like that, like things like that.
Yeah,
and all.
yeah.
So
and that's important too. And you can put and it's really basic stuff. We're not getting into the full, but like you can put like basic stuff like how long this contract is good for, or like how long the agreement for like
how long they could use the video or something.
Yeah, like how long you can put like a timeline of how long people can use the video, or you can even put like same for the photos that we talked about with the collaboration with the shoots, style shoots and everything. You can put like a time limit, or you can put unlimited, or you can just put like, hey, you can also put things too like. Everybody can use these specifically for their digital marketing or print marketing, but they can't enter it into contests and other stuff like that. Or if they do want to enter into contests, they have to get in writing from you stating, hey, yeah, it's okay for so-and-so to use these pictures for a floral contest or something too. Because then, hey, I mean, yeah, we want to help each other out, but we also got to make sure we're not getting taken advantage of, which is very, very easy for creatives to get taken advantage of. I mean, you'll get people. I mean, I've had people in the past. This is why I always have a contract before I do any event photography. As such, I did I was recording video for a party. This was when I used to live in Delaware. And I had filmed it. You know, we had done all the stuff. We got the people coming in, the music artists, everything else like that. And I was supposed to get paid like, I don't know, $200-$300 or something for it. So then end of the night comes and the promoter's like, oh, yeah, we'll get back to you. I don't have it on me right now, but we'll work it out. Then it just kept on going like, oh, man, we had a low amount of people that came in. We didn't make much money and all that stuff. And I was just like, yeah, but I still came out and I did my job and stuff. And then he stopped returning my calls and all that kind of stuff. Eventually, I ran into him at another person's event and stuff. Like I was talking to his homies and like, oh, there he is right over there. I confronted him. Still never got my money, but it was just like I knew never to do business with this guy again and such. And it's just make sure to cover your butt. You know, I highly recommend get stuff in writing. You know, text message, emails, but a contract is your more ironclad thing that you two have mutually agreed upon, whatever it is, so you can protect yourself and they can protect themselves too.
Yeah, especially too, because even though we're photographers, videographers, there's a lot of people that have gotten their bridges burned by photographers and videographers and stuff like that, and all. Like they might not have a contract to back it up. They're like, I paid this photographer for this. They never showed up to my event, and now they're in the wind and stuff like that and all. Meanwhile, you already paid this photographer to come out to this event, and now not only do you not have photos from this event, now you are also out that money too and stuff like that. So it's like it happens on both aspects and stuff. So like you're saying, the contracts help both sides and stuff, because it's like you want to hold up your agreements and stuff and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's all great stuff. We talked about with bartering, building your portfolio, trade of services. Even you can build referrals too. You know, say for instance, you are bartering with somebody who has connections with, like, say, a Fortune 500 CEO or those kind of people and such. And, you know, you say like, hey, I can help you with this service, but you have to guarantee me, you know, a sit down meeting with this person, you know. So building even those are connections and stuff that you can build too. There's so many different ways that creatives can navigate, because you're a business. At the end of the day, you're a business, and if you're not taking yourself seriously as a business, why would somebody else take you? You know, they wouldn't take you seriously and such.
Because that goes back to, you have to believe in your own self too, and your skill set and everything and stuff and whatnot. And like I said, you might not be the best skill set and stuff, but you're learning, you're growing and everything and stuff like that. And there are people that are looking for your specific type of skill set and stuff, and at the level that you're at.
Yep.
So.
And there's people that are always looking for a certain style, like a certain vibe and stuff. There are a million other people who either do podcasts or they just do those videos in the day in the life. Like our kids love watching those farming day in the life videos. They're going to be farmers. Like they're just saying they want like pets and everything else like that. But it's like there's like all these different things. But it's, you know, there's different people that want to watch that, and you know that you can create a following, or you can, you know, just be that kind of person for those people that are looking for that.
Yeah, like because even going back to like gaming, like you'll be online watching gamers do gaming podcasts and listen to all this stuff and everything, and I could care less about some of these. Like I would never watch and sit and watch unless it was somebody I knew or something or whatever that I'm trying to support and everything and whatnot and stuff. So, but then I might be into a whole different topic and everything and whatnot that you're like, yeah, I would never sit down and listen to that either. And
like,
stuff,
since you mentioned gaming, we mentioned him earlier, the other podcaster, his Sadat the Gamer, he, in his stuff, like he had told me his story was like he was focusing on a certain game. It was Marvel Avengers was the game and stuff. And he was one of the few people that was playing it streaming, and then he became one of the top people and stuff. Well, eventually he saw that game was starting to fall from popularity and stuff. So then he shifted. He would talk about the Marvel shows, you know, all the different like superhero shows.
And that's what hooked me then, because I'm like, oh, shows. I watch shows all the time and stuff. So it's like I might not play the games and everything that like would hook you, but I was like, oh, shows. I can watch that now because I watched the shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, you know, pivoting and doing what he did, and now he does like other different games and everything else like that. The game right now that everyone's playing, Marvel Rivals. I mean, I play it. He plays it. You know, all of our friends play it and such.
And I watch you play it.
Yeah, right.
In the middle of reading my book too.
Armed and dangerous. For just putting it out there, if you like to play Marvel Rivals, I'm a Jeff the Shark main.
That is a cute character.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's adorable.
But yeah, so he used that, he pivoted, and he built his network. He met with other gamers and such, and I should get him on the show, and he can tell his story better and stuff. But just a little brief, like, and stuff like that. And then like he reached out to me, and I talked to him about like imaging stuff and everything. So I was able to give him advice and that kind of stuff. And then he figured that out and used it for his image, and now he has over 100,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. So, you know, props to him. You know, you got to put in the work. Mm-hmm. You know, you build these collaborations, you build these relationships and stuff. But if you're not doing the work that you promise, then it doesn't matter who you collaborate with. You know, you're a peg on that whole project. If you're not holding the table together, it all falls apart. Mm-hmm. So make sure you're putting in your effort. You're putting in your time, your energy, and giving people 100% of what you can offer.
Yeah, because that even goes back to too, like it's about who they know and who comes top of mind and stuff, not necessarily who is the best photographer in the world or whatever. They're going to go with who's the best that they heard of, that they know that's in the industry and stuff like that and all and whatnot. And it's like if you're really good, you might not be the best, but they're going to come after you to do their projects and stuff versus going to try to find somebody that they see online as really, really good and stuff like that, but they've already built a connection with you.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. Well, what we talk about? We talked about referrals, portfolio building, credits, and all that. So I hope this was a great episode for you all to tune in, whether you were watching us live on video or if you were listening to the audio podcast. Today was a lot of fun talking about collaboration, bartering, and ways that you can navigate all that too. So
if you have any examples too, we'd love to hear your examples of ways that you might do it in your industries and everything, or ideas that we haven't even thought about because we don't know everything and stuff. So if you have any ideas or just want to tell us your story and stuff like that, we'd love to hear that as well. So.
Yep. So I am your host. Oh, wait, I forgot. We got to say the website one more time. Don't forget to go to our website, 23journeyscreatives.com. And I am your host, Thato Datsun, with the lovely Naomi Datsun.
Hey, and all of our links will be in the bio stuff as well.
All right. Have a good one, and thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys.